Millenniums ago, on the majestic peaks of Mount Nebo, Moses, the revered leader and prophet, gazed upon the promised land before his mysterious disappearance. The Bible tells us about his death, but what follows is an enigma that has puzzled scholars and theologians for centuries. What really happened to Moses' body? Greetings, explorers of the enigmatic. Today we venture into the deepest and most fascinating mysteries of the biblical story, a tale that defies logic and leaves humanity in awe. We dive into the millennial enigma surrounding the disappearance of the body of the great prophet Moses, an event shrouded in shadows and unanswered questions. Moses, the exceptional leader who led the people of Israel through the deserts and received the divine laws on Mount Sinai, has left a towering legacy. However, his final fate, narrated in the book of Deuteronomy, presents us with a unique mystery: the deliberate omission of details about his burial. Why do we not know Moses' resting place? Was it a divine act, a sign of the supernatural, or are there more earthly explanations behind this enigma? Join us as we explore various theories, from theological interpretations to symbolic reflections, to unravel the mystery of the disappearance of Moses' body. Don't forget to subscribe, turn on the notification bell and leave us your comments. Let's dive into this intriguing chapter of the Bible together. Let's get started. First, let's take a look at who Moses was and what his spiritual journey has been. His life is a saga full of wonders, from his humble birth to his crucial role in the liberation of the people of Israel. Prepare to witness an extraordinary journey. Once upon a time, in the ancient land of Egypt, there was a child born under a special star, destined to change the course of history. His name was Moses. However, his arrival in the world was not easy, for the land was dominated by fear and slavery. Moses was born at a time when the Pharaoh of Egypt, alarmed by the growth of the Hebrew population, ordered that all male children born to this community be thrown into the Nile River. But his mother, full of love and courage, decided to protect him at all costs. With a heart full of maternal love, she prepared a basket of reeds and placed Moses in it, setting him adrift in the river. The small boat carried the child to the banks of the Nile, where he was found by Pharaoh's daughter. Touched by the baby's fragility, she decided to adopt him as her own son. Moses grew up in the opulence of the palace, but always felt a deep connection to his true identity and to the suffering of his Hebrew people. One day, witnessing the brutality of an Egyptian overseer towards a Hebrew slave, something in him changed. Guided by a divine impulse, Moses decided to confront Pharaoh and free his people. However, his first attempt was a failure, and he was forced to flee to the desert, where he lived as a shepherd for many years. It was in the lonely desert lands that Moses experienced an amazing encounter with God. High on Mount Sinai, in the midst of a burning bush that would not burn, God spoke to Moses. He gave him the mission to deliver the Israelites from slavery in Egypt. With staff in hand, Moses returned to Egypt and challenged Pharaoh with the divine words, "Let my people go." However, Pharaoh resisted and hardened his heart. Then, the 10 plagues began, from the plague of blood to darkness, each one demonstrating the power of God. Finally, after the 10th plague, Pharaoh released the Israelites. Moses led the people through the miracle of the Red Sea, where the waters opened to allow their passage and then closed to annihilate their persecutors. On Mount Sinai, Moses received the 10 Commandments, which became the moral guide for his people. For 40 years, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness, facing challenges and miracles, all under Moses' guidance. Finally, they reached the borders of the Promised Land, but Moses, on top of Mount Nebo, only caught a glimpse of it before he died. His body was never found, shrouded in a mystery that lingers in the pages of history, reminding us that Moses' greatness lies not only in his leadership, but also in the unique connection he had with the divine. Moses, from the moment of his birth under the shadow of oppression in Egypt, carried with him a divine spark. Raised in the heart of Pharaoh's palace, his life was destined to be extraordinary. But it was when, with the weight of slavery on his shoulders, he ventured into the desert, that his destiny became intertwined with the divine in an unparalleled way. Guided by a night star and mystical encounters on the slopes of sacred mountains, Moses emerged as a visionary leader. It was on Mount Sinai that he received the 10 Commandments, whose words would resonate as a moral compass throughout time. The Exodus led by Moses, a journey that defied logic and rose above earthly forces, left an indelible mark on history. Seas parted, plagues fell, and the people of Israel followed their leader across scorching deserts to the promise of freedom. But why did Moses transcend? Perhaps it is the direct connection to the divine, marked by the burning bush that was not consumed. Or perhaps it is the unflappable leadership, which inspired a people to embrace hope even in the darkness of the desert. The absence of information about his tomb has made Moses an enigma, a figure whose ultimate fate remains a mystery. Lacking a specific resting place, his presence extends beyond earthly boundaries, reminding us that greatness sometimes lies in uncertainty. But why the absence of his body? Stay until the end of this video to discover this great mystery. The transcendental figure of Moses, a peerless leader in biblical history, has left scholars perplexed by the absence of specific details about the location of his tomb. Although the Holy Scriptures provide a detailed account of his life, the deliberate omission of information about his burial in the book of Deuteronomy has fueled speculation and curiosity for millennium. One of the most widely contemplated theories in theological circles suggests that the lack of details about Moses' tomb has a divine purpose. According to this interpretation, God, in his infinite wisdom, may have decided to conceal Moses' resting place to avoid the temptation of worshipping his remains. Instead of focusing on the earthly figure of Moses, attention should be directed toward God as the ultimate source of power and authority. The biblical narrative describes how Moses ascended Mount Nebo, from where he beheld the promised land before his death. However, the specific location of his burial remains an enigma. Some interpret this as a divine act of preservation, allowing the mystery surrounding his tomb to serve as a constant reminder of the unique relationship between Moses and God. The idea that Moses, because of his close connection to the divine, experienced a unique form of transition between life and death is an interpretation that has intrigued many. This perspective suggests that his destiny may have involved a transformation or ascension beyond earthly limitations, which would explain the absence of his physical body in the biblical narrative. Another interpretation is based on the belief that Moses, being a prophet without equal, could have been buried in a hidden place by God himself. This could symbolize the uniqueness of his role as a messenger and leader of the people of Israel. The lack of detailed information about Moses' tomb, while intriguing, also serves as a reminder that the Holy Scriptures do not always seek to satisfy our earthly curiosity. Rather, they invite us to focus on the divine, on faith, and on the spiritual connection that transcends the limitations of human understanding. Ultimately, the absence of Moses' body in the Holy Scriptures remains a sacred enigma, a constant reminder that some truths are beyond our comprehension and that faith, rather than certainty, is the essence of our connection to the divine. And so Moses' disappearance became an enigma that floats among the pages of history, reminding us that some souls, imbued with divine light, transcend earthly laws. His legacy persists, not only in the footprints he left in the desert sand, but also in the whisper of the wind, telling the story of a man whose body was lost forever in the ethereal embrace of the divine. Today, as we come to the end of this inspiring journey through biblical stories, I want to express my deep appreciation for joining us on this fascinating journey. We have explored the life of Moses, who defied the odds, guided by faith and courage, leaving an eternal legacy. And so, the figure of Moses becomes a story that transcends the pages of the Bible. His legacy persists in the laws he delivered, in the stories he told, and in the divine spark he ignited in the hearts of those who followed him. Moses, a man rooted in history, but whose impact has elevated his figure to the heights of eternity. As we say goodbye to this chapter, I invite you to reflect on how these timeless stories can inspire you on your own journey. What lessons can you draw from the heroes of the Bible to apply in your daily life? Don't forget to leave your reflections in the comments section. I'd love to hear your thoughts and share our experiences. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss future journeys through history and spirituality. Together, we can continue to explore the depths of biblical wisdom and find inspiration for our daily lives. We thank you for your continued support, and look forward to our next meeting. Until then, may the light guide your steps and may you find inspiration in the strength of biblical heroes.